United 2, Leicester City 1. A late Maguire goal in Fergie time to seal the deal. No VAR. It certainly looked offside. Will rivals keep the same energy tonight as they did in the Arsenal game? We will see. We want to get your views, your opinions on this game tonight. The performance from both sides. The winning goal. Why is there no VAR at this stage of the FA Cup? There's certainly the money in football to get it done. The second half performance, the Xerxes impact. Why the lack of confidence at Old Trafford? There's so much to speak about. But of course, hit the like button and make sure you are subscribing. Now, I knew that we'd get this in the comments section, so I want to address it. And this is why I keep the same energy. So there's a lot of comments here. Leicester robbed. Were they robbed? Well, I keep the same energy. What have I said in a number of other games this season when there's no VAR? I've not called any of them robberies, have I? I've said that in the moment, the referee makes mistakes, just like football used to be. There's no recourse on it. So, of course, I was very, very angry when we conceded the penalty against Arsenal. But my energy was very much along the lines of, but there was no way they could overturn it because there's no VAR. There was games earlier on this season, the Carabao Cup, where I had exactly the same energy. So it is certainly offside. The angles I've seen, I can't see a defense for it being onside. Leicester will feel very, very hard done by indeed, and I understand that, but I'm keeping the same energy. This is almost like old school football. There's no VAR. I said it in previous rounds when it went against my club. I've said it in other competitions that don't have VAR in the early stages. I'll tell you what game it was. It was the, I think it was the first leg of the, that wasn't the first leg of VAR. Well, no, do you know what I did? I said it in the semi-final first leg, Liverpool versus Tottenham, when Bergvall should have maybe got a second, I think it's Bergvall, was that his name? Should have got a second yellow. I said, well, VAR can't intervene. So the referee makes a judgment call. If VAR can't overturn it, if VAR can't support, different energy from me, but the same energy in those circumstances. It was certainly offside. It was. But there's no, once the referee gives it, there's nothing that can be done. So, of course, they're going to feel hard done by. There's no doubt about it. But we've all got to keep the same energy on this one. So, yes, I understand it. You asked me on previous shows with no VAR why I didn't have robbed in the title. I gave the same answer then. It's the same answer now. I know people that hate Man United are not going to like that, but I'm consistent with it. There we go. I want your views and opinions on the game, though. Here he goes. But it's the truth. Didn't I say in the Arsenal game? As much as it was a bad decision, referees give it in real time and it can't be overturned. Are we going to say that? Come on now. See, you of all. Now, Twisted Bubba. Now, there's not hypocrisy. See, this is the thing, Twisted. You're being the fucking hypocrite because I have said it's clearly offside and it was the wrong decision. But in all the other rounds and all the other games this season, in the FA Cup and early rounds of the League Cup, where the wrong decision was made, haven't I not had the same energy? Where the referee's made a mistake, I've called it out. But with no VAR, I've had the same energy where I haven't called it a daylight robbery. It's a mistake in the moment. I've had the same energy even when it's gone against my football club. So let's not play that game today, people. Let's not play that games. Mental gymnastics. Listen, Omar, you're a member of the Terrace. You know I don't lie about these things. Come on now. Show a little bit of respect. Show a little bit of respect. Let's go through a few more of your comments here. This is an interesting one. I'm going to be genuinely honest. I'm done with Amorim. Please explain to me why. And yeah, I am rattled. I could admit when I'm rattled. I can admit when I'm rattled. I'm rattled when people lie about me. And that's a lie. I had the same energy in the last round. And I've got the same energy now. But because Man United benefited, some of the babies in the comment section are going to cry. And I can't help that. It's not my fault that you don't keep the same energy. It's more of a reflection. Because I keep the same energy, that probably triggers people a little bit more. And absolutely, a lot of you are saying offside. It was offside, but there is no VAR. So what can I do? None of you were here saying this in the last round. You weren't here. Why? Please let me know why your energy has changed tonight, people. Please let me know. This year, Terry, you guys had no shots on target the whole game until you scored the goal. Absolutely. And we're going to get onto that in a few moments' time. But I wanted to address the offside goal at the start because I'm not ignoring it. 100% offside. It should not have stood. But VAR does not exist in the FA Cup. And I've been calling, again, go back and watch previous years, early rounds. I remember I've called it out many times. I've seen Premier League teams go through. VAR's in existence. I've seen Premier League teams come back and win games of offside goals. We know we should have VAR at this level, but it isn't there. And I've said on multiple streams before, and I'll keep saying it moving forward, I will not be as harsh on the referees when they make a mistake and there's no VAR. My agenda when it comes to the PGMOL is they have VAR to rectify clear mistakes that we as football fans see. When they don't do it, that is when I call them out. When they break protocol, then I call them out. Said it on previous streams, and I know that for a lot of you it hurts because now Man United benefit and it gets under your skin, but my energy is the same. The goal should not have stood. I've said it. What more do you want me to say? Let's move on from it now because I don't think there's anything I can say that would make you all change your mind. He's so rattled. Yeah, I'm a bit frustrated at some of my regulars that are calling me a hypocrite for telling the truth. But you are the ones who are rattled because I've admitted it was not a goal, and you guys don't want to move on from it because you're so angry that Man United won. Your blood's boiling. But as I always say, we know that we're all your biggest rivals, and we're shit at the moment, and we are still your biggest rivals. Let's break the game down now. So for me, look, tonight, that first half was horrendous. And a lot of people will talk about three at the back. A lot of people will talk about the problems in the team. But for me, mentality was the issue tonight. And when I speak of mentality, I'll talk specifically fear. United were scared tonight. United were fearful. United... They were like rabbits in headlights for large parts of that game. As soon as we scored, we were a different Man United team. We were pressing and winning the ball back. If you go just before 5-10 minutes before we scored, Harry Winks came on and he had the freedom of the park. There was all this room, all this space. He had 10 yards of space in every which way direction around him. And that was players sitting in their little positions. Well, I'm not gonna press a case to get beat. Whenever we got the ball, nobody willing to take a risk. I'm going to try and knock the ball around a man and drive into some space. When we got the ball out wide, nobody really wanted to take on their fullback. There was this panic. Everyone got the ball. I'm not going to try and break a line with a pass in case I lose it. And for years, we've bemoaned as Man United fans players that take risks with the ball. Now, you shouldn't take risk in precarious positions in front of your own box, etc. most of the time. But you have to take risks in football. It's the only way you're going to score goals. And listen, Garnacho came on and changed the game. He made one bad decision when he should have squared it to Højlund. Instead, he shot. Outside of that, he was phenomenal. Phenomenal when he came on. But the difference between him and every other player on the pitch until that point is he was attacking Justin. He was attacking the fullback. He was being aggressive. He was doing everything he could in his power to try and change the game. We scored. We equalized. And suddenly, Winks ain't got the space in the middle. The players moved 2 or 3 yards further up the pitch. We were pressing in numbers. Ahmad was trying to take players on. I saw Maz get hold of the ball, knock it past whichever attacker was pressing him, and then drive into space. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, well, the difference is this. We came alive, but we were in the same formation. We had the same tactics. These players, a lot of them know they don't have long-term futures at the club. They know because Man United have decided to go in a new direction. And I think the combination of that, their inability to be, I don't think most of these players could be great in that position. Plus, with recent results, you can just see this fear, this anxiety within them, especially at Old Trafford. And it took the goal to wake us up. And then from that point onwards, we were by far the better team. And that's why, for me, I know this is about confidence more so than it is about anything else. But that first half was absolutely horrendous. It really was bad. Maybe the worst half of football I've seen in the last 11 to 12 years. It was absolutely piss poor. There's no defending it. You can't defend it in any way, shape, or form. It was absolutely beyond horrendous. It really, really was. Too static, too slow, nobody taking risks. The press was absolutely non-existent in every single which way. Absolutely non-existent in each and every single way. So I just feel, Amorim's got a long way to go. But I had a tweet I was going to post. And I was going to wait to the end of the game. It was a tweet that I wrote at halftime, and I was sitting there thinking, I'm going to post this at full time. And I'm still going to post it, win, lose, or draw, because I saw a lot of people at halftime. I blame the players. I see the lack of commitment on the ball, the lack of desire, the slow moving of the ball, no bravery. And a lot of people are going for the manager already. And I had this tweet ready, and I want to read it out to you now. I said, it's easy to blame the manager again after 6 consecutive failures in management. And whilst Ruben may bear some or all of the responsibility at this particular moment, so I'm very open to it all being his fault, okay? The issue remains deeper and will take a long time to resolve. Consistently sacking managers and then essentially forcing the next one to adapt to the inherited squad may lead to short-term success or temporary relief at best. I am willing, and I mean this, I am willing to stand by Ruben Amorim and endure the challenges until the squad is completely built. Completely built to suit his vision. Now, I have no certainty as whether or not that will take us back to the top. I hope it does. I pray it does. But I'd rather take a different approach than repeat the same foul strategy for the 7th time in a row. That doesn't mean that he is beyond reproach. It doesn't mean that Ruben shouldn't be challenged. This doesn't mean that you can't criticize, because I certainly was shocked to see Dorgu playing on the right and Delo on the left. Shocked me, frustrated me. But the difference between when we scored, from when we scored to the end, versus from the beginning to when we scored, it was the same system with 3 at the back. Yes, some substitutions, but it was the same system and tactics. There was a shift in energy and mentality. And I think, like I've said, these players are scared. A lot of these players don't like the system. Do I think they're throwing the manager under the bus and putting a lack of energy and effort in to get him sacked? No. But there is a lack of desire. There is a lack of energy. There is almost like a laziness at times. But those things are also systematic of fear. Systematic of people that are anxious. And this is why I want to persevere. Because, listen, we could sack him and bring a new manager in to get the best out of what we've got. We've done it that'll be the 7th time we've done that. Could it be 7th time lucky? Potentially. I'm not guaranteeing success because I can't. I don't have the power, the knowledge, expertise to do that. I'm a football fan like everyone tuning in right now. But for me, I'd rather just try something different. Persevere through the painful moments. Yes, you can get frustrated. Yes, you can criticize. But I want to try something different. I want to buck the trend. Pick a style. Stick through it through thick and thin. Build the squad to the best of our abilities to make that work, and let's see where that leads us. What's the alternative? Do what we have done 7 times, which at that point would be 6 times before, and hope on the 7th occasion, 12 years in, it ends up different? Maybe. And that will hold water, and that will hold substance for some people. But if you can give, what I'd love to ascertain and understand is your honest assessment as to what, if you think what I'm saying is wrong, absolutely warranted. Can you explain to me why in detail with examples as to why twisting again, yielding to the squad's ability is going, why do you think that's going to generate better medium to long-term success than bucking the trend, picking a style, actually building a squad for it, sticking to it through thick and thin, and giving it 2 to 3 years? Tell me why you think that's different. I'd love to know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from each and every single one of you on that. I truly, truly would. People are still talking about 5 players being offside. Already been spoke about right at the beginning of the show. First thing, put my hands up to that it was offside. So if you want to hear me talk about that, go back to the beginning of the show because that's already been done, my friend. This here for Joshua says we're going to go to super chats now. We're going to just mark and bookmark where in the show these come in. Then we're going to bring the panel out to have their say this evening. How is it our fault that the linesman couldn't line up properly? That's not our problem. But on Ruben, he's not helping himself with his decisions. The low on the right, Dorgu sub, he's hurt himself. Look, well, we actually improved, I suppose, after the substitution. But look, none of us expected the low to stay on the left because he's been awful there. And maybe the manager will address that. There's no doubt. Of course, it's not Man United's fault the linesman happened. We'll get called cheats, but I'm going to keep the same energy that I have when rivals benefit, even when VAR is in play. No one cheats. No one pays the referees. It's not Man United's fault. I say this when Liverpool benefit, when City benefit, when Arsenal benefit. It's not their fault. We won't get the same energy back, but of course, that's haters do what haters be. We were robbed at Arsenal. We robbed Leicester City. Fair game is what Marcy says. Look, terrible from the linesman tonight. Absolutely. But there is no VAR. So what do people want us to do? Not be happy that we're through to the next round like the rest of you would? Yeah, what do you want us to do? Ask for the games we played again like none of you would ask your teams to do? Yeah, get the fuck out of here. At what point do we see a swing in momentum and confidence at United? It's been 2 years of this. Do you know what, Patrick? It's going to be long. It's going to be a long time. It's going to be a very, very long time. Ruben didn't lie to us when he said that it's going to take a hell of a long time. There's going to be loads of painful moments, but in the long term, it will turn around. And this is why I'm willing to trust him. I thought he was giving us a little bit of Billy. A little bit of Billy. A little yammer. And then oh, look how good we look. I thought it might be that. I think he's told us the truth. When you fundamentally change every aspect of how the club plays football and has ever played football, especially this group, you start it mid-season with some financial issues as well, right? Where you can't spend whatever you want. You can't go and drop 200 million into January because of 11 years of malpractice. It is what it is. I think Man United fans have got to strap themselves in. I said it when we recently lost. I said it after we won recently. There's going to be many, many ups and many, many downs. And I think we've got to remain patient. But that's my view because I'm willing to. I get that others won't, and that is fair enough. And I'm not really going to fight and argue with people over it this time because I'm not trying to convince anybody. I'm just giving my opinion if that's theirs. But yeah, when will we see a swing in momentum? Hopefully at the beginning of next season. I think it's going to take a long time, my friend. PGMOL logic. Offside okay. Celebrations bad. I don't know how you even begin to solve the referee problem in England. Do you know what, Cal? This is what I would say. My energy before VAR, if you go back and watch my content from that long ago, was the referees are human. Don't blame the refs. Look at yourself. My mindset has changed in the last 4 to 5 years because actually, you think about tonight's goal. People can say, well, Leicester can blame themselves. Well, actually, they defended perfectly and they went out. They actually kept their line well and they went out. And somebody gave me that example once, and I realized for years I was wrong. People that just say ignore referees and solely focus on yourself are wrong. So that partly changed me. Secondly, VAR came in so that mistakes like this could no longer happen. And by and large, with offsides, they get it right. Liverpool versus Tottenham, Arsenal, Brentford are a handful of examples that went wrong, okay? But absolutely, it's one of those situations where I don't understand why they don't have VAR at this level, my friend, because that would have ruled that goal out and we'd be watching extra time right now. So I couldn't agree more with you in relation to why isn't it on now. Dorgu at right back, the low on the left, and why take him off when he was playing well? Let's wait and see what the manager says. Maybe he was only ever planning to give him 45 minutes. Another thing that he said as well is he keeps referring to Dorgu as a winger and not as a right back or a left back. And he's played at right midfield and right attack a number of times. So again, we got to lose the interest. I'm playing devil's advocate here. But I agree. I want to see him on that left back role. That's where I personally want to see him play 100%. United win. Of course, Terry's favorite team is already out. United have won 6 of the last 8. Still fans are crying. And look, that's the thing for me. Everybody wants to see an improvement in performances. I don't think we're going to see a massive improvement in our performances for a while yet. Not until we get 5, 6, 7 new players in. I don't think you're going to see a massive improvement in our performances, especially at home. And I'm accepting of that. I've accepted that as the truth. The manager told us it was going to take that long. I didn't necessarily believe him. I thought he was sort of being conservative and overestimating. We now know he was telling the truth, so I'm on board with it. But absolutely, you know, we have won another game. We have come from behind, but we've won another game, and yeah, I'm happy we're through. The ref was perfectly lined up to see it. How? This is the thing, Omar. You youngsters have got to go back and watch football before VAR. This happened on a regular basis to all of us. Man United lost a Premier League title, and Drogba was off by a bigger distance, than Maguire was off, and the referee and the linesman was in line. It's because what linesmen do is they're looking at multiple people, and they've got to look at when the ball's kicked and the line at the same time. And all it takes is for the referee to look over at Bruno for a split second, and by the time he looks back, if you actually look at the footage in real time, if you were to be looking at the line and then look at the ball and then look back just after it's been kicked, there was a Leicester player that dropped deep. So in real time to the naked eye, you might think, oh, I think that's on. Which is why human error happens. This is why VAR should exist in these games, because that's what it's there for. Because humans will make those kind of mistakes. VAR should stop it. So yeah, he was perfectly lined up, but they have to look at 2 or 3 or 4 things at the same time. That's why offsides like that consistently through my life in football have been given. That's why VAR came in. Yes, people, get the like button hit if you haven't done so already. Make sure you're subscribing to the Football Terrace as well. Thank you very much indeed. For all those complaining that we were lucky today, I hope you show up when United are robbed by blatant handballs and offsides. But this is it, they won't. They'll just say, what they'll say is, you got one against Leicester. But every Man United fan in the chat is admitting 100% that we were lucky with that. All of us are. And, you know, they just are. And I know that a lot of my trolls are raging because they're like, oh, shit, I forgot that Terry had this same energy when Spurs and Arsenal and others with no VAR benefited earlier on this season when he explained it. Shit, he said the same thing. Ah, fuck, we can't cook him. We'll just call him a hypocrite anyway to try and wind him up. It's beautiful to see. So lucky there was no VAR. Yep, 100%. None of us. I don't know what sunshine. I know you're backstage, but something's happening with your thing. It's a blank screen, but it keeps flashing. I don't know whether you want to jump out and jump back in again, bro. Maybe there's a light not on where you are or something. I'm not too sure. Try sorting that, bro. Oh, it just came on and then he kicked him out. Try coming back in, bro, if you're hearing me now. Yeah, we know we were lucky with that goal. 110%. 110%. People are real triggered. He put a case on in the first minute. Of course. I don't want to hear about nothing else now, just that. But you know, it's really funny, right? This is what's funny. If Arsenal conceded a goal like that and I said, oh, it's a bad refereeing decision, stop simping for Arsenal. Talk about the performance. Talk about the bad defending. Yeah, I love people, man. People are great. KJ and Cam joining me now. Welcome, gents. Whew. Got away with that one, KJ.
I might need to sue this club for my mental health and my physical health because, bruv, they put me through it. My head was on Mars in that first half, like gone, completely gone. Then my head was on Jupiter because Harry Maguire did a flipping 90th minute winner with his fat head. We've been needing one of those for months, and we finally got one. And Lord behold, it's offside. And before I get into it, it was offside. We need semi-automated offsides in England. We need VAR in all competitions at all stages. We need to find a way to help teams have them. So like the League 2 teams, the National League team, we need to find ways to help them have VAR in these kind of games. Because if that was my team going out by that, I'll be fuming. Yeah. So I feel for Leicester in that sense. We need to fix that as a footballing country. We got lucky. It was offside. But we needed that to get through. We were dreadful. For the most of that game, we were awful. And this is the frustrating thing, because today is the first day I really had real beef with Amorim. I've been really patient with him. I've been really like, cool. Like I can see what he's trying to do. I can understand the position that he's in. But today, you've bought a new left wing back. We're all excited to see him. And you're playing right wing back. Okay, cool. But so who's left wing back? It's Dallo. The same guy has been letting us down from left wing back for weeks, for months. He leaves him there and then puts the new left wing back that we've got on the right hand side. And it just fried my brain because we know the story of Dalot at left wing back and we saw it again in that first half, especially. And he was actually good, Dorgu. He was good. And then he takes him off. And then, obviously, my head's gone at this point. I thought he lost his mind. I thought he's trying to get himself sacked because what the hell are you doing? But I think the reason why he did it was because take the guy off who doesn't know the system as well, bring on Garnacho, leave players on that know the system as much as possible on the pitch and trying to win the game. And we won the game. The Garnacho sub was pivotal. He was very good. He did the things that we weren't doing in that first half, which was running at defenses, running into the space, because they were playing a high line at times, and we never took advantage of that. So he did that. He put some good crosses in, and we got a goal from it. Xerxes, I think, also as well coming on, changed the game for us because we had a player whose stature could hold on to the ball. Rasmus, that first half I felt for him because we weren't giving him anything, but that second half, he was not doing anything well for us. Mainu, one of the poorest games I've seen from Kobe this entire season, actually even ever. He weren't good. Anything that he tried to do didn't really work. There's a couple of times in that midfield where he could have just turned and ran, and he played it back. And I was like, when you're Terry, you got kids in there, and obviously you got little Kaya now on cam. When you just because you just know what they're doing is wrong. That's how I felt.
I say 0 brain cells when it happens. I'm like, this kid still has 0 brain cells.
You know what I'm saying? like I am obviously for you it's different. Terry might obviously feel a different way, but like, why was he doing that? Like the things I was doing today it was poor. Overall, Amorim needs to make those tweaks real quick because another team that isn't Leicester.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question though? I agree with you. I expected to see Dorgu and Dalot the other way around, but Dalot stayed on the left hand side in the second half. We started playing better when Garnacho had the balls. This is confidence thing to attack a fullback. No one in the first half wanted to attack. That then led to our goal, which I thought by that point we deserved because we were starting to attack. Then the system's the same. The low still on the left-hand side. Now, he still made mistakes on the ball because we know he ain't great in that position. But suddenly, Harry Winks didn't have space in the middle anymore. And we all heard the commentators go, wow, look at the space. We scored. Suddenly, they have no space. Suddenly, we're pressing them off the ball. Suddenly, we're conceding 0 opportunities. So for me, as much as I was frustrated with that initial decision by the manager, I'm still looking at these players and saying, hang on a minute, a goal suddenly makes us play better. That for me is purely and simply mentality and a confidence issue. And you said it, you mentioned me at halftime, KJ. These players look scared. And the title of my video until we scored those goals wasn't, Liverpool are scary, Arsenal are scary. Mine was Man United are scared. And all of them, they look petrified to make a mistake. You can see the fear. Why do you think that is? Why do you think these players are so petrified of making mistakes?
Well, I think it's a few things, right? Obviously, they still don't really get the system. I think once you also, it's like the NBA trade block. Once your name's put out there and certain names are put out there that people would never have expected, like a Garnacho, like a Mainu, like those names were put out there. People knew it at the end of the day. And I think as your player, you're sitting there. If you want to be at United, you're scared now because you're like, oh, they're dead ass. They're serious. Like they will sell me. They might get rid of me this summer. If I make a mistake, everyone's going to be on me, especially when we're home. You see it more because our crowd doesn't help. Like everybody sighs when a back pass has, like you could hear it collectively, like the crowd going on, attack, attack, attack. So now you're scared because they don't have that confidence in playing the system. They haven't won enough games. They know that if they go out in the FA Cup, it's going to be a disaster. Like our players just don't have that mentality. They just don't right now. And until you bring in enough guys who do and who have that confidence, like I said to KJ during the game, I'm like, the only players that look like they even knew where each other would be or how to, it was Ahmad and Bruno. Everybody else looked lost for the first half. It was brutal. And I think that's a big part of it. I think it's like you are still trying to learn it. And the commentator said something when they're like, well, it's not working, but we know he's not going to change the system. And he didn't, and he won the game. So it kind of made them look stupid at the end, if I'm going to be honest. For me, when I was watching and I was thinking about like, why are we playing this guy left wing back? Everyone's like introvert. I don't agree with what he did, but I will say the positives I saw from like Drogu, and I think I saw it from Euro, and I'm going to say something that's very clear in his system: pace and power. Malacia would never get to that one ball that Drogu got to, that he kept it in, started an attack. Yes, he didn't put in a great cross, but he got there, and that would have never happened with Malacia. And then Euro, it's going to go understated because he didn't make the saving tackle. Maz did. But Euro, that gut-busting sprint he made when they were going to break on us, and he just caught up just enough to put who I can't think it was Ndidi or somebody off the ball. Samari, yeah. And he just put him off just enough so the pass couldn't be perfect. That's what our team is sorely missing. You're seeing it now with now that you're seeing an injection of a little bit of pace, a little bit of power. It makes a big difference. And I think these players know that they're all on trial. So that's something that we're going to see a lot of. And I agree with you. People got to strap in, be ready for it.
And you know what? Part of me likes that. Sorry, I'm going to go to your next case. Part of me likes that because I feel that Man United has been a very easy place for players when actually it should be high pressure. And I almost feel like whether it's been by design or by luck, it doesn't really matter. I think Amorim, with the way he's behaved, it's created pressure for these players. But you're never going to get to the top at Man United unless you can handle adversity and pressure. And it was interesting. Tonight looked like the first time I've seen Garnacho play in about 5 weeks where he looked a little bit more relaxed and free. All throughout that transfer window, he was like his body was taut and he went relaxed. And I know he made the mistake when he should have squared it to Højlund when he went for goal. But part of me almost felt he'd been so good, I kind of got why he went for it. But I just want to see more. I want to see more players, take risks. And it was the second balls for me. It was not winning the second balls because that it's either a laziness or a lack of bravery. And I almost felt like there was this element of if I go for that second ball and I don't win it, then I might get exposed and the manager might tell me off and I might get in trouble. So they were just sitting deep. They were just staying in their position. Yeah. And there were times where Leicester were just winning every second ball and then playing the ball round us with ease. And I'm looking at it thinking, that ain't
real quick before you go to Sunday, because before I forget this point, because I was going to bring it up with Garnacho. The one thing he did do that I was really impressed, he stood up and got counted. He came in and was like, I'm going to try to be the guy. That is why he took that shot. I was so pissed when he took that shot, but it was like, he was like, I'm going to be the guy. I need to be the guy. No one else is making anything happen. And we don't have enough players like that. And when Bruno does it, everybody gets mad. They're like, he's playing hero ball, but Bruno was too deep today to do any of that. Bruno knew he had to just control. He had a few balls that were bad.
I was thinking that as well today. I was watching the game, right? And I was like, we had no one trying to run off in the first half. Nobody was trying to run off the shoulder like Rashford used to do. And nobody was trying to play a line-breaking pass like Bruno gets criticized for. And I'm not saying you want Bruno doing it every time he gets the ball. I agree. But this is the problem. Like, you need people taking risks in football. You never win football matches without taking risks. And the first half for me was just awful. But sorry, you were going to speak, KJ. I apologize.
Yeah, because you asked about the mentality. And the one thing that is frustrating is because we've seen them bring mentality to games. Even this season, we've seen it.
But no pressure in those games, KJ. Think about the games that
true. Like the roles were reversed in terms of we were the Leicester, we were the Southampton, the Rangers, the underdog in their game. No one gave us any hope, so then they bring up the levels. But this is where I'm like, so how can you not bring, like, if you can do that when you're seen as rubbish, how can you not do that when there's actual confidence that you will go and win? That's what I don't understand with these guys, especially when you saw them turn it on and we win. Like, it's baffling. It's baffling.
Mate, I've been talking about this for years. I totally concur with people. Like, the quality and the floor of quality needs to be raised at Man United. But you saw it. As soon as that goal went in, if we'd have played how we did from that goal until the end from the start, we win 4 or 5-0 tonight. But the players can't do it. And I do think the new system plays a part in that because they're just thinking all the time. And I don't know, when you think, sometimes you overthink. And I know some people don't like these expressions, but you can overtry and you can overthink. And when you do those things, you typically, you have a night. If anyone was watching the UFC, Israel Adesanya, overreaching, overtrying. He was tense in his movements. He got knocked out. Adesanya, at his pomp, fully relaxed, the right mentality and believing in himself, he finishes that guy with simplicity, in my personal opinion. Sunshine, welcome back to the show, brother. What you saying, my G?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I mean, yeah, another crappy win. Offside goal, you take it. I've had my fair share of highlighting our indifferences over the past 4 or 5 years with decisions that go against us. So it's about time we get something so basic like that in our favour, even if the performance didn't warrant us to win that game. It just so happened it was against Leicester and we've been playing poor. So yeah, I'll take the win. Because yeah, the performance was just dreadful. And I'm gonna say, man, I sound like a parrot, man. It's almost like I was somewhere in the future when I was making certain comments and statements about how long it's gonna take, and the real issues with this club, and the failure to apply their talent, which is another conversation that people need to understand from a sporting perspective, from someone who has competed at a very, very high level. There is a difference between having ability and applying that ability on that pitch, and then also having the culture around you that makes you want to apply that ability. Manchester United have not had that for the longest. So you can talk about a talented player. For example, we talk about Sancho till the cows come home. Is he talented enough? Of course he is. But does he have the application to apply that talent, one, to the Man United badge, but two, to a manager or a system when he's got to do things that most players don't want to do? The answer is no. So therefore, you get rid of these players, and no different with Rashford. It's no different with anyone else coming through. And I'm just sitting here like I'm just numb. If I'm being honest, Terry, I'm just numb. Cause I'm sick of having the back and forth with fans. I'm just like, yeah, cool, you're right, wicked. You know your thing. Like, it is what it is. And I'm sick of seeing the repetitive notion of fan base being on this hamster wheel of the same manager, this systems, this style of play, this. When, let's be honest, none of that actually matters, man. Just none of it actually matters. So yeah, we just get the wins. I've been saying it from the early start. When any manager comes in, go and get your wins, because just like Liverpool started this season, I forget the bald-headed geezer's name. Genuinely forgot his name. Liverpool manager. Thank you. Yeah, when Slot came straight in, I had my opinion that the most difficult thing would be for him to start getting wins, because if he didn't get the wins straight away, the fan base would turn quick and be like, Klopp this, Klopp that, because they are patriotic over Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah,
Liverpool weren't playing very well at all to start with, let's be honest, but they were bagging goals and getting the wins. That settled the nerves, that settled the confidences, and that's what you need when you, in my opinion, and I'll continue to say this, any manager coming in, especially at United, go and get your wins regardless of the performance and style of play, because at some point you'll build a confidence barrier, which means that you can rest on that and actually start to play ball at the same time. That seems to go over people's head. I'm hoping people start to see it now.
Yeah, listen, in terms of the debate about United, it's like I tweeted earlier. I'll debate VAR with you trolls in the comments all the time and robberies and stuff, but it's not about I'm not prepared to hear other people's opinions. Me and KJ actually spoke about this earlier on today. I'll ask people questions as the host of this show, but I'm not fighting for anything anymore. I'm standing by what I've said, but I'm openly admitting I could be wrong. I would just rather try something different this time. I want a fixed style. Now, I don't care what the style is. We could have picked Conte. We could have picked Pep. We could pick Amorim. We could pick fucking Steve fucking Cooper. Is that his name? Steve Cooper? Yeah, I don't care who the manager is. For the point I'm making, doesn't matter. Whatever we do, we've got to stick to it for a 3 or 4 year period. And it has to be a set style. No more adapting to the players. Not because I don't want to win in the short term. Not because I think, I know more about football than you, or you're wrong. It's just, that's the one thing we haven't done in the last 11 years. And I just want to try that. And I'm a little bit numb to it like you. Like, I wasn't sitting here 1-0 down in my studio, angry and fuming. I was annoyed at the players maybe not working hard, but I'm kind of resigned to how we're going to be for quite a considerable period of time. And I'm just over the idea that a new manager is going to come in. We're going to buy a few players and we're going to suddenly look like peak Man United. It's going to be a long, long time. And I'm just prepared to go through that period and see what comes at the end of it. What I'm not sitting here and going to say is, I'm hypothetical here, Rhino, you're stupid because you want the manager gone already and you don't think it's going to work. If Rhino thinks that, I'm not saying he does, then fair. I'm just going to accept it as well. I can't fight over it anymore, because if we're being honest, most of us have had opinions around what would work and what wouldn't work in terms of changing managers in the last 11 years. We've all been right about some of it. We've all been wrong about some of it. The one thing we haven't tried is sticking with a manager in this way through thick and through thin. And the problem you then have is the polarized people. They're the only ones who are problematic. We said I can't criticize him. No, you're just being a dickhead now and being deliberately obtuse. Of course you can criticize things, but why don't we just buck the trend as Man United fans I'm going to go down the line and get him out? It's never going to work. You don't know that. No one knows that. So I just feel like, again, but if you think that, I'm not going to shut you down. You get to have your opinion. I just want to try something different. So maybe the end result will be different, as opposed to doing the same thing for the 7th time on the bounce. That to me just seems the most stupid decision we can make, is repeating the same thing for the 7th time in 12 years.
Yeah, and I know there's a comment here that I want to put up, and it says, we should not be getting managers that need their players to succeed. We need managers who can come in and just plug little holes and improve the players improve the available players. Yeah. Okay, I'm not feeling, I can't get with this notion, because can Amorim coach Maguire to be faster? Can Amorim coach Bruno to be stronger? There are some aspects of football that you cannot coach. You can coach where to be. You can coach how to pass, when to pass, how to finish. For some people, you can coach that.
KJ,
also ask Pep how he's doing. Like, let's ask Pep how he's doing without his players, Rodri and KDB, at his best. Let's ask Klopp how he would have done without. You need players who can.
I
play
said
your
this last season, Cam, bro. I said this last season with Ten Hag, and I said, as a positive example, and the example works perfect because I was Harry Maguire's biggest hater. So one, I'm giving him a breath of fresh air, but two, it makes my point clear. I didn't rate Harry Maguire, and I still don't. But I acknowledge that he was incredible for under Ten Hag over a period of time and settled in, did his job to the point where he was man of the match most of the times. Even when he was on form, his profile was still not good enough to move the ball out of the back as quick as Martinez, for example. So even when a player is playing better and has been coached better or whatever, even if I don't rate that player and I can still identify it, that player is still not going to ping those balls in and still have those quick turns and push it. It's just not going to happen. And the problem with Manchester United over 11 years is, because you keep changing managers on average about 2 seasons, is every single manager has a different style of play, different profile. So when they go and bring their first main batch of players in, the next manager, who arguably is going to end up coming in, plays a different style, then has to work with those players. And the issue with that is, the players that we're buying in for 72, 75 million, we can't then go and sell them on straight away anyway. Or we're going to make a loss because we've had businessmen and bankersmen making these transfers. It's not the manager who spends the stupid money. He wants the player. They spend stupid money. Therefore, the next manager goes and gets it. So then you've got 11 years of different profiles of players you can't get rid of, and you're expecting every single season to start banging out after a year. Makes no sense.
Do you know what I was saying about that comment? Where that comment, I think, would have held a bit of water. So when that comment would have held a bit of water was maybe 2017, 2018, when we had a pretty decent squad. You had like Greenwood coming through, a young Rashford, Martial, Pogba. I think that squad then, and the irony in it is that as fans, we turned on Jose because the football wasn't pretty, probably needed 2 or 3 more top-class players, and it probably could have challenged for a title. But what we ended up doing then is going to an Ollie, and then we ended up going to a Ten Hag, and now we've gone down this line. We don't have a squad. I don't think there is a manager in the world that could buy a couple of players and make this team compete regularly for a Premier League title. So as much as I understand that comment, I just don't think it's plausible. Rhino, what did you make of tonight's game, my friend? And long time no see. Hope you're well, bro.
Yeah,
man was here 2 weeks ago. What are you talking about?
yeah. But I'm not consistent.
Yeah, but you're a Man United fan. 2 weeks is a long fucking time.
Yeah, it is. Do you know what it is? Yeah, I hope I don't upset the apple cart, but I'm quite upset with Ruben today. And just to add context, because I know people are very reactionary. People like to listen to what they want to listen to and not take the whole context of what's been said. But just like I was on the Man Them Talk the other day defending Amorim, because when the guys started leaning towards the players, I'm like, guys, what are we doing here? Don't forget how bad these players are. But I think I support Ruben Amorim. I'm nowhere near Ruben Amorim out. I've still got faith in him, everything. So let me add that context there. Let me add the narrative there. But this Dalot thing, this Dalot on left back, guys, I don't know how long I can take it. I can't lie. I'm trying my best. I want to be patient. I want to kind of think, okay, you know what, managers going to have their favorites and whatever, but Dalot at left back, it needs to stop. It needs to stop. Because what the problem for me with this is that, you know, with the first half, we were very negative. Players were passing back. No one wanted to go forwards. Then I started to realize every player is doing it. Cool, fair enough. But I think when we just start with defensive wing backs, we just don't play aggressive. We don't play on the front foot. We're always on our back foot. And I thought, okay, you know what? When Dorgu comes in, we're going to just, you know, put Dorgu on the left side and play Ahmad on the right side. Because, you know, in this system, wing backs are the most important thing. So if we've got 2 attacking wing backs, fair play. You might argue, okay, who are you going to put in the 10 and whatever. But I just think in terms of our overall structure, the wing backs are the most important position. So that's why I'm very upset with him. I feel like I can see it becoming a problem because if it's a thing where here and there is giving us good games and it's a bit 50-50, I don't mind. But he's been a net negative for us. Same way as Højlund. Yeah. You know, I know we don't have any options up front, but yeah, the Dalot thing started to worry me, guys. That's how I'll be honest.
Listen, I don't think that's the wrong. I don't think that's disrespectful to him at all. I'm like you. I'm nowhere near wanting the manager out. I'm going to stick with him.
Yeah.
But I'm not understanding it. And do you know Dalot? If I look at Dalot though as a player, do you know why he's pissing me off? Because I actually felt that when he was, I know he has to get back and defend at times, but he's got a much more attacking role now. I thought he'd thrive. Yeah. Because I've seen him play as left back in a more pragmatic team and attack well. I thought in this system, I thought he would do so much better. He's probably been my biggest disappointment out of all the players under Amorim. He has probably disappointed me more than any other individual.
Especially with last season, because he's actually one of our best players last season. And I think the problem is for Dalot is wing back, especially Amorim's wing back. It does not suit him because he's now required to do the attacking like a winger, and he can't do it. Yeah. He can't take man on 1v1. He can't put in an outside and chop man up and then put a ball in, and that's his biggest issue right now. And I think that's why like Ruben just needs to hold it and be like, you know what, this guy can't do what I need to do. He needs to be like Maz and put him in the right centre back.
I think the pressure conversation applies to him and Rasmus the most. You can almost feel it every time he gets on the ball now. He's trying to do too much, basically. He is overthinking. He is over. It's like, bro, you can't do those things, so stop trying. No, and even Rasmus today, he had a moment which I thought was hilarious, where he came in to help the play out, so brought himself well out of position, completely whipped it. That was when the ball went through to Garnacho, and that's when he had that chance to score the goal, and they saved it. Now, listen, if Rasmus did not do what he did, and this is where I'm like, I'm proud of my football sense watching this. If he did not pull himself so far out of position, he would have either stopped the defender from getting there because he would have boxed him out, or he would have had a tap in. These are players who are trying too much because they are just
No, I agree. I agree. They are all panicking out there. There's no doubt about it. But as I said earlier, the reason why I'm not panicking though is part of this intrigues me. Rivals are not going to like what I'm going to say because they know it's true, but they wish it wasn't. Playing for Man United is different from playing for any other team in England. The pressure is more intense. The scrutiny, the shirt waist heavy. And look, like I said earlier, whether he's done it by design or it's happened, I feel like for the first time in a long time, these players are feeling the pressure. It's not like they're on a holiday. And maybe this is a great way of us working out who can actually cope. Because mainly he's had some good performances under Amorim, but he's had others where he doesn't. If you'd have just seen this young player last year's preseason, you'd have gone, loan him out, sell him. You would never have said, bring him into the first team. But I think we have to put the players through this pressure because we have to work out who can handle playing for a club the size of Manchester United. Because the pressure does weigh heavy, more so than anywhere else in England for me. So maybe there's method to this madness that we're not going to see the fruits of for a little bit longer. I'm going to go to some super chats, but then I want to ask you guys about Garnacho, because I did feel that he actually, he's a very big positive from tonight. This here says, what is the reason that VAR wasn't in the competition at this stage? I know you're not, yes, I know you're not asking to be. It's because they don't have VAR at all levels of the game. So they do it for what they call integrity, which means Man United can score an offside winner today, theoretically, but so can Leyton Orient tomorrow. They're saying that their senses, their logic is it damages the integrity if Man United's goal gets ruled out, but Leyton Orient get to have theirs. I hope, by the way, Leyton Orient win tomorrow. Come on, let's pray, because honestly, I'll be in tears for my brothers, man. That'd be the best day of my brothers' lives. Honestly, I hope it happens. Sharik here, who said earlier he's losing patience with Amorim, says because the system is still exposing their defensive flaws. They're playing a two-man midfield who don't cover because they're overloading. So we are being exposed. I get you've got PTSD. The issue is this: the players are not doing what they should be. So when Xerxes came on, we scored pretty soon after. Then Xerxes was dropping deeper like he should be. And Xerxes, to be fair, a bit like Garnacho, got to give him a lot of praise for that. He ran and he worked hard. He got stuck in. Then what happened is, Sharik, the whole midfield and defense, everything pushed up. And then there was not a big gap. And if you watch the sideline, Amorim shouting, in fairness to Bruno, just watch Bruno in the games. You often see him shouting, he's saying, get the ball up, move, get up further. These players are dropping deep because it's like fighters do this in the ring when they're a bit nervous. They sit back and they cover a bit more. They don't want to go and engage because they're scared of getting sparked. It's a fear thing. And I get you're losing it with Amorim, and I understand that. But you have to look at it how we play when we've got confidence versus how we play when we're struggling. I don't believe the manager suddenly went when we scored, right, let's change tactics now and let's set up higher. Is it on the, I think there's a combination there. This here says, not enough with that. Can't understand the system. They've had about 3 months. They are professional players. I don't think, do you know what?
One sec, so I know you got something to say, but I just want to say this
context,
as well.
man. Come on.
You got to remember that two things are happening at the same time. They are the lowest confidence that they probably have been in their entire careers. You know how long it is to try and learn something when you don't believe you can do anything? It's hard. Two, they're also trying to unlearn how many years of whatever system that they've been playing.
Can I use you as an example, KJ?
Go on.
In Doha. So this was the first time any of us had been to an event like this. And we were filming, it was on one of the semi-quarterfinal nights, I think. And we went out to film like a preview for that night. And it was like the lighting was perfect. And we had a great location. And we went out and we filmed. It was a really great piece. And people come and got involved with us. And we're like, oh, that'd be a great bit of content. Not just because it was informative. There's a bit of transfer talk in there as well. But people come over and got involved and got the mic. And we got back to the media center. And KJ had this face on it. What happened? And basically, KJ didn't connect the mics up to the camera, so there was no sound. So we lost the content. Then we're walking back down to the location. We're like, we've got to get there quick, otherwise we'll lose the light. And we had lighting, but it was like we had to get there quick. We wanted it to look a certain way. And we're rushing up, but KJ's rushing down there. And when he's there, he's then trying so hard to get it right. We're going to get it right. I'm like, KJ, chill out, because you're going to end up making another mistake because now you're trying too hard. Now you're like, and it took him about 5 minutes. He calmed down. We reshot. We got what we needed. It was great and it was brilliant. But if we hadn't have stepped in and like calmed KJ down in that moment, and KJ wasn't being a bad employee, he was trying really hard. But there are times where you can try too much and you can overthink. And what was going to happen? He was going to miss something else. So sometimes you have to do less to do more. I went on a surfing lesson once, and they kept on saying to me, you're standing up and you're trying too hard. And I was like, what do you mean? They said, just stand up with ease. Don't try and stand up. And it took me a while to work out what they meant. Like, if you're trying to stand up, like you're trying to get up off the floor quickly, you're going to fall off every time.
It's a bit, Terry, it's a bit like acting. Sometimes if you overdo it, it's going to look forced, but you just have to relax and just be normal kind of thing. Like when you're doing drama and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's true. It's very, very true. It's very, very true. No, Terry, people are triggered. He puts Casemiro for 1 minute.
You know what? You know when you're so relieved that you don't even clock. I heard him come on, and I didn't register. Like, oh, Casemiro on for 1 minute. That's a bit mad.
When I nearly
you know why they do that though? because they can't once they've added time. Once they've added time, they can't add more time.
Yeah.
So you make those stupid substitutions. It takes 30-40 seconds. So that's the reason he's definitely done it.
It's not disrespectful. It's just like I gotta use time. Cass, go out there and jog. It's fine.
Bought a natural left-footed, played him on the right. Do you know what I'm going to say? That there's a number of Sporting fans online though saying this is typical Ruben. He prefers to have left footers on the right and right footers on the left in the wing back and 10 positions. He likes it.
Terry, just quickly. I don't understand why people are bringing this up. I don't understand why people are bringing this up when Amad Diallo is left-footed and he's been banging on the right-hand side for the whole time. Why are people all of a sudden crying over it?
No. All it is, from everyone's videos that they've watched, I don't know if I've seen multiple. It's wait. We've been shown that normally the right-hand side is normally the left footer. Cool. But the left-hand side is also a left footer. So that's what, like, I think that's what people are saying. It's kind of a wait.
I think people don't want to see Delo.
It's not Dorgu on the left.
That was a big problem.
Yeah, it's not Dorgu on the left that I'm desperate to see. It's Delo nowhere near the left.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Because I don't think he's good enough. The Dorgu looked all right to me. I also would like to see what the manager says. The reason I'm not kicking off about him coming off, maybe this was planned. Like, remember when the early days of Amorim, Ahmad was never staying on the pitch for 90 minutes, and he said we've got to get ready for 90 minutes. So one thing I'd say about Amorim, because he can't help what happened to Lissandro, the lack of injuries we've had in the last 3 months compared to before.
Big improvement.
Those things I'm gonna keep my powder dry on. Players have no confidence at home to slow gameplay down low tempo. Cup game this season, mental to think we win the FA Cup and the Europa League. Listen, if we end up winning a cup this season, it's going to be one of the greatest achievements I've ever witnessed as a Man United fan. No, because we've got no right to with the way we're playing right now. There's no doubt about it. I did want to ask before the end of the show, gents. Garnacho came on. He's had a torrid 3 months, really, playing poor, on the transfer list, nearly went to Chelsea. But I felt he came on today and was a genuine game changer, Rhino.
Yeah, 100%, man. 150%. I feel like he just brought a bit of energy, brought a bit of belief. You know, when he was attacking, we felt like something can come out of it. And minus that pass that I feel like he should have given to Højlund. Yeah, because sometimes such a bad decision can kill all the positive things you're doing. I just think he was a breath of fresh air. And I think he's shown heavy improvements since he's, been on the transfer list, and we thought he was going to Chelsea and whatnot. So I'm very happy with the fact that he's playing more as a team. He's looking more for his players. I would hope for players to be more on the pitch now, knowing that our wingers are going to cross it in the box. Let's crash the box. Let's see at least 2-3 guys in there to at least be in a good position to probably get a poacher's goal or whatever. So, yeah, Garnacho, I'm very, very happy with him, man. I feel like there's going to be different opinions on how high his ceiling is. But at the same time, the reality is he's a young player and there's always potential there, you know what I mean? And he's been a positive light to the team. We can't, no matter what people think, you have to call a spade a spade. He's been positive for us and he's brought a bit of faith to the attack. So, yeah.
The manager was asked in the press conference about Dorgu. And I love this answer. I thought Dom was talking. He said his position, you can see on Y Scout, that he can play on both sides.
I love it. The thing about Garnacho today that, like, it's not just about him. It's more, I actually like it. I think more about the managers. He's come out recently and made it clear. And I appreciate when managers do that it was his decisions on who left, who stayed. Like, he had been saying during the whole saga that he didn't want Garnacho to go. He was very vocal about it. And then it seems like he kind of made the final, like, okay, we're not bringing in anybody, so you're not letting this kid go because I can work with him. And I think he's proving very quickly, I think we'll see it, that he's going to be proven right in the sense where Garnacho, if he does the right things, so today is one thing I did notice about him, the man crossed and passed more than he normally does.
Yes.
Like, he was trying every time to look for a cross, even if it wasn't good. The only time he didn't was the one time he should have.
And can I say as well, can I ask you a question? I felt that 2 or 3 of his cutbacks, yes, they got intercepted, but only because nobody was crushing the box.
Nobody was there. No. Completely correct.
So there was guaranteed 2 where in the penalty spot, no one was there.
So here's the reason why he probably didn't do it, because he had done it a few times, but mans weren't there. And then he's like, he's one of those guys who I think wants the glory, which is good. It's not a bad thing. And he was like, We're on fire. I'm buzzing. I'm gonna take this shot again. Terrible. I was so mad because like it hurt me to see Rasmus in the net shaking the
Actually
net.
there.
I felt my soul for that dude. I was like, oh, this guy has.
I still need to watch that back because the angle I saw. Even if Garnacho passed it, I couldn't see.
KJ was there. It was a tap in. It
was because even Ahmad was on the rebounds.
Yeah, they were both. They were both. Yeah. No, do you know what it is? Because we won. I'm not bothered by.
Yeah.
But there's a mix. There's a mixture. That wasn't the time to shoot. Like when he cut in and shot and it went to Rosie.
Oh, that was him.
But I didn't mind that. I didn't mind that. There was also a time the commentators had a pop at Xerxes. Nice little play, and he tried to play a ball in and break the line, and it got intercepted, and they went, not a good enough pass. And I'm sitting there like, you're right, but that's the kind of mistake I don't mind. You have to try things. And Bruno tried a few balls today that didn't come off when he eventually got higher. And the commentator, oh, he really shouldn't be giving the ball away there. But he's trying to break a line. You lot of fucking idiots. Like, we can't just keep recycling the ball. There comes a time and a moment where you have to try something and be positive. And listen, I didn't think Ahmad had a good game tonight. There was 4 or 5 times where he tries to touch it and go on the inside. The touch was heavy. But at the same time, I'm not saying don't do that. I'm saying do it better. I said, when I see Bruno overhit a pass, I'm not saying don't do that. I'm saying do it better. Yeah. You have to take fucking risk. I don't understand football fans that are risk averse. It doesn't make me stupid.
This football in this day and age now, it's based on fear. You see it in the young players as well as coach. It's based on fear. We grew up in arguably the best era where I've seen Zinedine Zidane, Ronaldinho, you name it, Pirlo, misplaced passes, and no one in the stadium got off their back. We're like, oh, he's crap, he's not good enough. Like,
and AJ, you always say that it's true, though. It's true.
You've been saying it for the longest, bro. You've been saying it for the longest because we have a fear now that you can no longer hit a ball over the top, and it doesn't make you can't do that. And then if you don't make the pass, you're a poor player. I'm thinking, wait there.
Within reason,
I don't remember when we used to glorify simplifying the ball until Pep Guardiola showed up with his style of football, and now every player, every team on brilliant. National League, Cornflake League, after them play Pep ball. Makes no sense.
And Pep is now saying football's about to change again. You've got to go more direct. And I was saying the other day, like, if we just kept that squad that Ollie had and grew from it, we could be top of the league right now. It's crazy. That's why, do you know why sometimes as well? This is why, again, at the moment, this is why I'm prepared to sit through what Amorim's doing. Let's pick something and let's build it. Let's stop looking at what everybody else is doing. I want that. Oh, I want that over there. Oh, I want that. Because you know what's crazy? I don't know about you boys. When I was younger and I had no money, every time I went to the shopping center, the mall, as the North Americans would call it, I'd see so many pairs of jeans, tops, trainers that I wanted. Then I get a bit of money and I'd be like, why suddenly does it all look crap? It's that desire. Oh, that dinner looks really good on that table. I wish I ordered it. And then you get that dinner. Oh, that one looks really nice. There's something about us as humans, no matter what we've got, we always want something more. Focus, and the grass isn't always greener by the time you get to that point. It's like, oh, I really want that car. You save for it. By the time you get there, you're like, oh, there's better ones now. So how about you just stop fixating on what everybody else has got? Yeah. For a moment.
Terry, do you know they're saying you focus on your own plate, because if you watch someone else's plate, your plate is going to get cold. Simple.
Yeah, it's true. Hey, that's true.
Hang on, I never heard that. I'm stealing that right now. I'm stealing that. Yeah. Is that from your mum or your nan?
It's definitely. I think it's just from philosophies from having good people around me. Definitely.
Great philosophy.
Towards the end of that game, when we had those switches of play, when we were isolating players, that's when I'm like, I can see what he wants, you know, and I think it's good. I want my wide wing backs, wingers, whatever you want to call them, to be isolated 1v1. And I like the low crosses.
You could see the goal coming. You could see the goal coming. Yeah. I was like, this. We're going to score at some point if we keep doing this over and over and over. As Mo says, Mo brings it up a lot. Judge Mo, he always says, I like to see the same patterns and repetition over and over, so you can eventually see what they're trying to do to get that goal. And you actually started seeing it again and again.
And that's why I used to get so annoyed when people said, yeah, but Man United, just moments are brilliant. Well, the difference is this: the better the quality, the better the technical flaw, the more you can repeat the pattern. But in the end of the day, when you get to the edge of the box, individual brilliance is the difference. And it's about getting that combination in your squad right between being able to dominate the play, consistently play the patterns that get you into the dangerous areas, and then it is a little bit of freestyle. And you saw that when Garnacho came on. You get it when Ahmad's isolating a defender. That isn't something that they will work on it, but I like the fact that you don't know whether Ahmad's going in or out, and you don't want it to be predictable. Otherwise, defenders are going to know how to defend against him. But look, long way for Manchester United to go. Well done on winning tonight. Look, we got very, very lucky with the offside goal, as I said right at the beginning. But look, VAR is not in play. At the end of the day, we qualified in the last round, but we got done dirty in that last round. And if it hadn't been for, if VAR was in place, it could have been a different game. So let's say we don't concede what? We don't concede
30 to 25 to 30
chances per game.
True. Remember that? We used to get like 30 shots
them
against
times.
us, 25 shots against us. And it wouldn't be Man City. It'll be Palace.
It'd be
every
Palace.
game.
Right. To be fair today,
championship teams, everything. Yeah, I remember.
To be fair, Onana made a good save, and Deco, he had no idea that ball.
Oh yeah, that was their goal.
I've seen a clip of Goldbridge ranting. And look, watch-alongs are all. I always say to people, don't judge people by their statements in watch-alongs.
Emotions. Yeah.
Because emotions during a game are so different. I first saw it and thought, why didn't you do better? And then when I watched the replay, I was like, I actually thought, what a lucky goal, actually.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you watch it like, where do we get that luck? Like, he didn't even score it. Hit him in the face, man. It was
he saved it off his head.
Even the first goal was for us was this pretty much similar.
I mean, fairness. It was similar. In fairness, how good a goal could that have been from Rasmus? Like, he got blocked. The man didn't know. It would have been crazy. But you know, when Xerxes hit that, even when he shot, you could see how nervous he was.
Yeah.
He looked. It was like, because if he'd have missed it, oh my days.
You know what though? Yeah, this just reminded me of Rhino Musa when he said about Vegos. If that was Vegos, he's slide tackling that into the net.
Oh yeah. Hey, Vegos.
Love it.
The slide tackling that guy used to do, and then when he finally got it, he was crying.
I still do not forgive him for Sevilla to make it 3-0. And he slide tackle it. Why did he do?
It was crazy. If he scores that goal, I mean, literally, like they would have stopped attacking. Lissandro wouldn't have broke his foot. We'd have won the game. Listen, but you got to think as well. We might have gone through, won the tournament. The whole world could be different right now. That's what's crazy. Ken Hare could still be here. We'd be loving it. Listen, I want to thank. Josh here says, I will say Ugarte signing looking sus on the ball. But the thing is,
we signed him.
That's not his job. I feel we're getting out of Ugarte. Look, he lost the ball poorly to concede the goal. Manu didn't pick up his man as an example, right? But at the same time, Ugarte he breaks the ball up and then he's meant to give the ball to somebody else. That's kind of his job. And when you get more, go on, mate.
Sorry, just shut him down and just go watch that pass he did to Dallo to recover
that slice.
Bro, that's so nice.
He's all right.
If someone, Campbell, you'll get this in American football. And Thierry Henry even said it. If that is glorified, them type of passes in the NFL are glorified when it's done with the hand. To do that with the foot is different.
You put it on a string. You put it on it looks like it's on a rope.
No backlift. You just.
Bro, I want to see the angle head on with that pass. I want to see.
What Garnacho needs in these games? Not Garnacho. What Ugarte needs in these games? He needs everything pushed up, so there's less space between him and his opponents. And once we did that, the level of interceptions, we had about 2 or 3 really good attacks through him winning the ball back in the middle. Look, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who's tuned in. We're back tomorrow for some of the match reactions, including, listen, I probably know they're not going to win, but I grew up next to the ground. My eldest and my youngest brother are lifelong season ticket holders, home and away, Leyton Orient fans. They play City somewhere. I was talking to my brother earlier. They're almost in tears before the game. They're like pets coming to our ground. People got to remember, like this team, they need to went out of business 7 or 8 years ago. Listen,
Beckham came from there, right?
No. Beckham's from Leyton, where we're from.
Oh, he's actually from there.
Born in Leyton, Leytonstone. We're all born in Whipps Cross Hospital. That's my little connection with Beck. Same hospital, isn't it?
Oh,
same. I actually had the same midwife. No, I'm a liar. My younger brother had the same midwife. I didn't quite, because she sort of. I remember because when my first child was in his mum, when she was pregnant, that's a weird way to say it. We had our first few appointments and we went to the same hospital, and she was about to retire. And she remembered the name because one of my younger brothers was born 16 weeks premature in like the 80s, which was really premature. So she kind of remembered the name. We got chatting, and she turned out she was David Beckham's midwife as well. She'd been there a long time. But yes, but he got rejected, David Beckham, by Leyton Orient. As a youth player. That's the story anyway. He got rejected by them, and I think Tottenham rejected him, but Man United snapped him up. So yeah, there we go. There we go. So go on, Leyton Orient. Go on the O's. Beat City and create history, please. It'd be amazing. Listen, everyone who's tuned in, thank you. This stream is going to redirect you to Hassam's Liverpool show. If you want to go and watch a show all about Liverpool, you get across to Hassam's channel now and go and support my brother over there. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And listen, well done, Man United. We are through.